Peace, peace, peace. Welcome back. Welcome back, man. I'm multitasking. Like I said in my first video, I'm an artist. So this was the artist how I fed myself in the feds, right? So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm working on a picture. Matter of fact, I give you a quick glimpse of it. You see what I'm doing. You see that's Malcolm, but it's four people all together gonna be on this picture. But so yeah, last video I talked about Cumberland, man. Cumberland was a very unique location, as I learned later. I never had another situation like Cumberland. Cumberland was a learning experience, and it was because of all the Lawton inmates, right? Yeah, they were some funny dudes. But I got so many stories from Cumberland. I'm gonna tell you one of them, right? Well, I guess I can share two stories in this segment, right? About a couple things I experienced in Cumberland. So first of all, I was young. I was young and I was super active. Active means I was on homie time. All the dudes from Virginia don't be on homie time. Some dudes just want to be to themselves. They don't want to be a part of anything, right? So, we ain't really had gang affiliations. If we did, I didn't know about them. We just had cars. And let me break down the car situation for you in federal prison. If you know anything about federal prison, if you've been informed about federal prison, people are a part of what we call cars, right? And a car is your group. It's like almost like a gang affiliation, but it's not a gang. So if you're from Memphis, Tennessee, you're in the Memphis car. Or when you're far away, you're just in the Tennessee car. Or you're in the Virginia car, or you're in the North Carolina car. So I was in the Virginia car. Even though we didn't really have cars like that, so to speak, because everybody from Virginia didn't run with us. And you probably wonder how is that, right? A lot of the older cats, man, they were just on a different type of time. They didn't have time for that stuff. We was still repping on set. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how you rep. Like if you're from Virginia, you got to rep for Virginia, right? So that's what we were on. So when I say I'm active, I was on that. So if anything happened with my homies, I'm involved because I'm active, right? Everybody wasn't. Everybody, some dudes, weren't on that type of time. I was on that type of time. So, and remember, my cellie was from DC. And although DC and Virginia didn't get along the best, me and my cellie was cool, right? But DC dudes will try you, right? They'll try you. And I ain't talking about on the homosexual shit. They'll just try you. It's like they test you, right? They really good for testing you. So when I first, the way I move, I was really aggressive. I'm super aggressive. So I'm not used to being tested or tried, right? So I find myself, I'm shooting ball one day. And dude in my unit, can't remember his name, like Isaiah or something like that, right? He was Muslim dude in my unit. He was about my age, DC dude. One of these like super hardcore street DC dude, right? Like he was like the image that pops up when I say DC dudes or anybody else in the Fed, they see this nigga because this is the type of dude he was, right? So I'm peeping how dude like watching me and shit, watching how I move. And these the younger dudes and the younger dude. Like if anything happened on the yard, it's gonna be between the young crews. The older dudes be out of there. They don't pay no attention to that shit. It be the younger dudes in their 20s, right? So these dudes in my unit, they in their 20s. You know what I'm saying? I'm in my 20s, and it's not a lot of Virginia dudes in my unit. It's a few of us, but most of the Virginia dudes was in other units, right? So I'm seeing how this dude kind of, playing me close, right? Or just the energy from him. So we shooting ball one day, and he like, yeah, young, what up, young? Like he talking to his people or whatever, right? And they kind of deep. It was a bunch of them on the basketball court. It wasn't, but I think I might have been the only Virginia dude balling that day. I didn't care, you know what I'm saying? So I'm balling, and dude kind of fouled me kind of hard, right? And I'm like, like on a rebound, like he just went up like hit me on the back of my shoulder or something like with his arm. Grab rebound, grab. I'm a beast in the paint, right? I'm a dog in the paint. I'm real strong in the paint, right? So I big boy him, you know what I'm saying? And score, I think he's playing 21. Playing 21. 21 is like every man for himself, right? And we were paying 21. So I big boy him, you know what I'm saying? Like okay, young, all right, young. Oh, okay, you little power, this how he talking, right? So I'm like, yeah, so I go up again like on another rebound, and he elbowed me in the back of my head, like forearm to the back of my head. I'm like, yeah. I said, all right. So he go up and I elbow him in the back of his head hard as shit. You feel what I'm saying? And he like, man, foul. So I said, I ain't call foul. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I ain't call foul. Like, you ain't, how you gonna call foul? I ain't call foul. So now we roughhousing in this game, just me and him. Everybody else ain't roughhousing. Like, it's me and this dude. I think his name, I want to say Isaiah, but God rest the dead. He, I don't say God rest the dead because I don't do that. But yeah, from what I hear, he met his demise like at some point, and they was like, man, you remember what's the name, man? He got killed up in DC. But me and dude was going at it. We was roughhousing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't backing down. You know what I'm saying? I ain't cutting. You know what they say? I ain't got no cut cards. I don't. Nah, if this what you want to do, this what we doing. So we big boy, we going at it. Everybody else kind of getting out of our way, right? And we ball like what it is. You ain't fight. We play rough, right? So I don't pay no mind. Like it is what it is. So I'm leaving. I'm going. I'm leaving out. They call recall. Yard recall. So yard recall is they have moves. We have what they call 10-minute moves. So on every hour, they call a 10-minute move. That means you got 10 minutes to move somewhere else, from your unit to the library, from your unit to the rec yard, from your unit to the chow hall, or wherever you're going, right? You might be going to, I don't know, lieutenant's office, whatever. You got 10 minutes to get there. You know what I'm saying? Wherever you're going, you got 10 minutes to get there. So when they call the 10-minute move, all the doors open on the yard, and that's when everybody moves and goes to different places, right? So on yard recall is when everybody who's on the rec yard has to leave the rec yard and go back to the dorms, right? So on yard recall, it's just everybody. It's like cows, you know what I'm saying? It's just traffic. Everybody leaving from the library, going back to the dorm, leaving from chow hall. All the people working in chow hall, they going back to the dorm. Everybody going back to their unit. That's when everybody goes back to their unit, right? So I'm walking out. You got to go through the metal detector. We got metal detectors out there, right? So you don't get out there with a knife or whatever, right? So I walk through the metal detector. I'm dolo. I'm by myself, yo. You know what I'm saying? So when I walk through the metal detector and I walk out the building, I cut my eye to the left and I see this nigga standing over in the corner with his man. His man was a dude from DC named Body, right? So his crew was Body and Pusshead and like Stop and Pop. Like these was the young dudes from DC when I was there who were active. And when I say active, they'll go. You know, like if anything happened between Virginia and DC, it's gonna be them. You know what I'm saying? And this wild nigga named Keith, and it was a bunch of these niggas, right? But I knew who all they players was, but I see him. I'm just getting there. I'm just getting there. So just getting affiliated with everybody. Just I'm peeping, I'm watching everything. So I see him and the dude body in the corner, right? So they was waiting on me. When I walk by, they fall in behind me. You feel what I'm saying? And I peep them and I keep on walking, right? So they behind me and he talking about like, yeah, young, that's him right there, young. Slim think he hard or tough or whatever, right? He just talking, right? So I look back and I laugh at him, right? And I keep on walking, right? And they laugh and he said what he's saying, right? But we get back to the unit, right? And he pull up on me. Like, good game, Slim. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, good game. He said, man, I fuck with you, man. You ain't soft. You ain't soft, young. I was just trying to see if you was a soft nigga. You know what I'm saying? I said, no, absolutely not. I'm not soft at all. But from that point on, me and dude was cool. I ain't rock, like we ain't chill and all that shit, but we was just always cool. You know what I'm saying? It was like mutual respect. And I know his name began with an I, but I don't think it was Isaiah, but it was like a Muslim name, like Islam. No, it wasn't Islam, but I can't remember, man. But yeah, he ended up getting killed on the yard. But that's just how you get tried, you'll get tested, right? So if you fail a test, right, now they put you in a category. This is how I learned, right? If you how you react to different situations on the yard can determine how your time gonna be there, right? So first of all, this dude is active. So all of his men, everybody he deal with, active, right? And if he tell them like, oh nah, Slim ain't going for nothing, you know what I'm saying? Now I ain't got to worry about these dudes because they know my character, right? So I never had a problem on that yard, right? Because of how I responded to being put in situations, right? And I never like all them dudes, man. Like I know they ain't going for nothing either. You know what I'm saying? So you got it's a bunch of men, a lot of alphas, right? And once you realize that, okay, dude on man time, he gonna get out there if he have to, meaning he will fight if forced in a corner, right? So they knew that about me. And who also knew that about me was my homeboys, right? So my homeboys, meaning the Virginia car, right, started to see the type of person I was. And there were a lot of guys, it was a bunch of us, younger cats, right? And there were a lot of guys who respected that about me. So because of that, they kind of lean to dealing with me. Now, mind you, at the time, we don't really have a shot caller per se. But out of the young guys, there's one guy who was kind of older than us, and he kind of led the young guys. And he was from Richmond, right? He was from Richmond, right? I say his name. Dude's name was Rick. So Rick was a taller, ripped up dude. He was a little taller than me, but he was ripped up. He was an older cat, right? Not way older than us, but he was older than us. And he was a serious dude. Rick was always a serious dude. Like, I don't ever think I seen this nigga smile ever. You know what I'm saying? Like, Rick was serious, right? But Rick was just a lot, he was just, I don't know, he was serious. He was real smooth dude, serious dude, always mad, it seemed like. And somehow through my movements, like dudes just started dealing with me who didn't really deal with Rick. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how, I don't know why. So when I came, I put a poker table down. I pay attention to details. And I noticed that there was one poker table on the yard. This old dude from Fayetteville named Dredd, he had the poker table. His poker table was 5 books or more buy-in, right? So 5 books back then, 5 books, that's $25, right? Books were $5 a book. So it was $25 buy-in just to play at his table, right? And I'm sitting there and watching, right? I'm just getting there. I'm like, man, I ain't trying to pay no $25 to get in the game, but I play poker. And I'm watching. It's a lot of dudes just around watching this poker game. And all these dudes that played this poker game were like the big dudes on the yard. All these dudes had tickets. You know what I'm saying? They was so let me break that down, right? A ticket meaning gambling tickets, right? Meaning they were casinos. They if you wanted to put a bet in using Vegas lines, you could put the bet in with them. You know, put 2 picks in, 3 picks, 4 picks, 5 picks, whatever, right? You pay a parlay. These were all of the bookies. The bookies were the guys who had the tickets or the guys who ran tickets for them. These are the guys on the yard who had all the money, meaning the institution money. Institution money being stamps. So during that time, stamps was the money. A book of stamps, which was 20 stamps, was $5 if you bought it on the yard. If you bought it from commissary, it was probably 5 and some change, you know. Hello, Carlos Park speaking. God damn, I hate them people when they call about nothing. But anyway, so a book of stamps was at that time, and this was in like 2000, 99, 2000, it was like 5 and some change. So you save money if you buy it off the yard. You lose money if you buy your books from the store. As soon as you buy a book from the store, you pay $5.75 or whatever it was, right? It automatically depreciates to $5 value on the yard. So it would behoove you to buy your books from guys on the yard who have been stockpiling books for years, right? They're dudes who we call them stampionaires because they are like millionaires in stamps. They got that many stamps. You got dudes who got 400 and 500 books stashed. You know what I'm saying? So these dudes have their weight. They don't even have to go eat in the chow hall. They can have somebody cook for them. So you know that's the type of compound Cumberland was. So a lot of guys there with money. Bunch of Italians there with money. Italians, they cooking in the microwave all day. They cooking pasta. You know what I'm saying? Like they eating like they these real mafia guys, right? So yeah, that's what I was around. But my guys, I opened a poker table. When I opened my poker table, right? I opened my poker table because there was a demand for it. Everybody couldn't play at this dude Dread's book, 5-book table. So I opened the poker table one day, and mine was a book to get in. Yeah, I said, okay, it's gonna be more people want to play, and they only got a book. You know what I'm saying? So I opened the 1-book table, right? I promise you, right? Like within an hour, my table is so full, I had to get up and give somebody my seat, which is a good thing. If I'm not playing, I'm just cutting, right? So I'm just sitting around cutting. I got a table full, right? They playing, I'm cutting. And I played wild card. I played dealer's choice. So I had a dealer's choice poker table. You can play whatever, right? And Dread, his poker table was like straight games, right? Like what's it called? What was that shit called? Texas Hold'em. He played Texas Hold'em, Omaha, and straight 7. Them the only games you could play at his table. So when I opened a dealer's choice table, it gave them more variety. So now I got people like, man, what y'all playing? I'm like, dealer's choice, because that's what we played in state, right? So they like, man, I want to see. So they sit there and they give me their books, and I got the books put up, right? And all I got to do is cut. I got chips made, so I'm cutting a chip every 10. I don't remember what my cut was, but I'm cutting. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sitting there eating. And then another table, there's so many people standing around. I'm like, man, they're like, man, you want to open another table? I'm like, yeah, I open another table. I opened another table beside it. So now I'm getting overwhelmed because I got 2 tables. And one of my homies that I did not know, he's from Portsmouth, right? And he was like, man, what's up, homie? You need some help? I'm like, yeah, homie. I looked at his number first. He had what's on the 085, 083. He had an 083. I'm like, where you from? I'm from Portsmouth. I'm like, yeah, man. I said, man, can you cut this one for me? So he started cutting the other table for me. My first day, I'm running 2 tables, yo, full. And there's still people waiting in line to play. So as people lose or whatever, they get up, man, seat open. Man, I ate that day. I broke him off with 5 books. That's how much I ate, just for helping. You know what I'm saying? So he's like, man, you gonna be out here tomorrow? I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be out here every day. Man, I got you, homie. I'm gonna work with. So every day now, this dude Sean I met from Portsmouth ended up being my partner because he stepped up. You know what I'm saying? So me and Sean ended up getting tight, and I didn't know much about Sean, but I learned a lot about Sean. I learned, from being in them situations, right? He ain't ducking no wreck. You feel what I'm saying? So, and he kept the banger on him, right? So I'm like, oh yeah, this is perfect. This is perfect. So now, my time there, now people see me like this nigga's a go-getter. Like, like immediately I start getting money, right? So I'm eating. I become a stamper there on the yard. And my first problem that I had, man, ironically, I had one fight my whole 17 years, and this is where this fight occurred. And this is how the fight started, right? We won't even fight. I just had to beat a nigga ass. And this why. So because I had so many stamps, when you have stamps, you can buy stuff, right? You basically got money. I'm fresh off the streets. I still got street money. You know what I'm saying? So dude came on the yard. And when you're in there, you want to look fly. You got women that come here. We had a lot of women that come in. It was mostly white women. I don't even know if we had but one black woman, and she ain't had no hair, Miss Crump, right? So dude came on the yard with these black Nikes that they didn't have where I was at. Every institution got different shoes they sell. So when people come from other institutions, a lot of times they bring stuff that they don't have at your institution. And when they bring that stuff, it's worth money, right? Supply and demand. Oh, you see my camera back here. I didn't even realize I had my camera in view. I'm a shooter too. About to do my first movie. But yeah, I'm working on that, working with that camera right now. But yeah, dude had some shoes. So I'm like, yo, what you want for them shoes? And he sell them to me for 20 bucks. They some black Nikes, and they don't have them there. This particular type of black Nikes. Hello, Carlos Park speaking.
Hey, how you doing, Mr. Parks? This Brian with Rooter.
Yes, sir. You on the way?
Yes, sir. We're right now out in Graham. We're about 47 minutes out.
I'll be here.
Get there to pick it up.
All right. Okay.
Perfect.
All right. Bye-bye. You see how I code switch? Look, when I switch tones, when it's a business call, I can switch it up real quick, right? But anyway, what was I at, man? The shoes. I bought these shoes, right? So this dude just came on the yard. He from Detroit, right? And he in the sale with his homie who just came on the yard. He from like Ann Arbor, another part of Michigan, but not Detroit. So they homies. They in the sale together, and they in the sale with my homie, but he from DC, but this is my man. We call him Six. He's a real tall, older cat, about 6'6", 6'7". I don't know. We just called him Six. But that was my chess partner. I was just playing with chess all the time. So me and him had gotten real cool, right? So just because Virginia and DC don't get along, don't mean we don't rock. Like we don't get along if it's a fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, and really they didn't like a lot of Virginia dudes, but they like me. They mess with me, right? So yeah, anyway, at the time, man, I was working on the yard. I worked on the yard, which means I was out there. I'd be with a pooper scooper. Pooper scoopers, them things that you like a little broom, like dustpan with a handle, and you got a broom, and you just go around and you scoop up trash. That was my job. It was just a bullshit job. You got to have a job when you work, when you're in the feds. You got to work somewhere. So I just wanted to get something that was light duty. I ain't really do nothing. I'll go out there an hour or two, and I'm done for the day. And I'm out there, and one day, and this dude I bought the shoes from came up to me. Right, he came up to me. He was like, "Man, what's up, Cap? I got to holler at you." I'm like, "What's up?" It's him and his Sally, right? He's like, "Man, somebody stole my books." Right, so I gave him 20 books. I gave him 20 flat books, which were brand new books out of commissary. Flat books were like, a little better than the old books or stamps that are assembled into 20 and put a rubber band around it or whatever. Right, I had flats, so that's what we call flats. I gave him 20 flats. Flats are easier to stash, So I was like, yeah, I said, man, that's messed up. He's like, man, you don't know who might have did it? And I'm like, nah, I don't know who might have did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, why would I know? You know what I'm saying? But so So now I'm kind of like, my antenna up. I'm like, he was like, man, somebody said you might have got me. I'm like, what? Like now I'm mad. I'm like, huh? Who said that? I said, Slim, I don't steal. You know what I'm saying? I said, man, I got stamps. Why would I steal? Right. So he's like, man, they was just saying you probably circled back and got the books. I said, nigga, I don't even know where you had the books. What the fuck is you talking about? So now I'm mad, right? So this a dude my age. He from Detroit. And this man and I'm by myself on the yard. Like, but I'm cool. I'm good. I don't map. I don't care. I'm like, yo, who told you that, yo? Somebody in the unit said that? He's like, man, I can't say who said it. I said, what you mean you can't say who said it? I said, man, somebody accused me of stealing. You got to tell me who said it, right? So it's rules in there, right? You can't just go tell a person, oh, somebody said, okay, who said it? They got to stand on it, right? So I'm like, nah, we going back to the unit. We go down to the unit. It's a move. And I'm like, I'm mad. At this point, I'm mad. I'm like, yo, who said it, yo? And I take him, we go to his celly, 6, right? I'm like, 6, your man said, he's like, man, you gotta tell him who said it. Because that's the rules. You know what I'm saying? And dude's like, man, I can't say who said it, right? I'm like, man, listen, man, you just said somebody accused me of stealing. I said, first of all, I said, man, where did they take the books from? Right? Because now I'm going into my problem solving mode. Like, who took the books? I said, I gave you the 20 books. I don't know where you put them. We go in the cell. He said, man, they just hit me and my celly locker. And I'm like, 6, they ain't hit your locker? He was like, nah, Slim, they ain't touch my shit. You know what I'm saying? I said, so somebody, and I know ain't nobody going in 6 room. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking to myself, right? I'm just doing the math, right? And I'm watching this nigga Celly. Nigga acting nervous and shit, smoking cigarettes and shit. Because they had cigarettes back there, right? So I'm like, man. I said, man, 6, let me holler at you real quick, right? I go out at 6. I said, man, let me use that thing, man. You know what I'm saying? And 6 was like, what you talking about? I said, man, let me use that knife. Man, you don't need to do that, man. Come on, Slim. I'm like, man, 6, just let me hold the knife, man. Because I know 6 got a nice banger, right? And he got it in a good hiding spot, right? I ain't going to say with his eyes, because he tall, he can access his joint, and we can't. Nobody else could get the joint. He's like tall as shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, come on, 6, man, let me hold the jump, man. You know, because I kind of got an idea where these motherfucking stamps went. You know what I'm saying? So I forgot a part. So during that time when he was asking me, I'm like, man, listen, man, I don't do no stealing. I said, man, we got thieves, but everybody know who the thieves are. You know what I'm saying? He was like, yeah, I know. They told me that dude Black be stealing too. I said, well, you need to holler at Black because I don't do no stealing. You know what I'm saying? I don't steal. That ain't my MO. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, now this is all I said, right? I didn't say Black stole anything. I didn't even know you know Black. I just said, well, if that's the one they said be stealing, you need to holler at him, not me. This motherfucker go back and tell Black I told him he stole it. I'm like, huh? You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, hold up, something. Black like, man, Slim, you told that nigga I robbed him. Like, absolutely. I'm like, hell no, I ain't tell him that, right? So, man, come on. And I fuck with Black, right? So I'm like, Black, come on, man. You know I wouldn't say no dumbass shit like that. I said, yeah, man. He said, you said I stole, I robbed him. I'm like, yo, he gotta see me. At that point, I'm like, dude gotta see me. So anybody who doesn't know, I'm a real estate agent, right? So I just got a lead, and they're gonna call me right now. So we're gonna commercial break, and I'll come back and I'll cut this part out of the video because I know I'm gonna get a buyer lead in a minute, and I need this money. But they ain't called yet. But anyway, so I'm like, something ain't right. Something ain't right. So I see that they tried to pit me against Black, right? So Black kind of dumb. He can't think past go. But I'm like, I see something ain't right. I'm like, what the fuck going on? I can just feel it, right? And I'm like, Slim, I said, 6, they ain't hit your locker. He said, nah, they ain't touch my locker. I said, did they take anything else in the room? Did it look like they went anywhere else? He said, nah. So I go back to the Detroit dude again. I'm like, yo, why the fuck y'all tell Black I said he stole the shit? He said, man, I ain't tell Black nothing. I said, what you mean you ain't tell Black that? He said, nah, my celly told him that. Your celly told him that I said commercial break. Hello, Carlos Park speaking.
Hi, Carlos. This is Sandy with Realtor.com. I'm a coordinator operator at Mosel Inc. And I have a client on the line for you, and this call will continue for quality purposes. So, his name is Andres. He's not yet pre-approved. He's looking to move in the next 3 to 6 months. He doesn't have an agent. He's looking.
Hey, you went out. I can't hear you.
Can you? Hey, can you
Yeah,
hear
I
me?
can hear you now. Yes, sir.
So, it is a client you can help. It's
Sure.
well, his name is Andres. He's
Yeah,
not yet
I can help. I can help him.
He's looking.
I can help him. I heard
Okay.
all. Yeah.
Hi, Andres. Thank you so much for waiting online. I have Carlos Parks with Versatile Real Estate Group on the line, and I shared all the information we discussed about your home search. I'll let the two of you take it from here. Have a nice day.
Okay.
Andres.
Hello, sir.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm
Hey,
doing good, sir. How are you?
I'm outstanding, man. So you're interested in the property out in Knoxville?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me about it. What's are you pre-approved yet, or are you in?
I'm still deciding on that. But I say cash.
Okay. So I mean, I can take you to see the property if you're interested in seeing it. I'm pulling it up now. See what kind of property this is. Is it land or is it a house?
It was a house. I have a. Sorry, I'm getting a lot of text right now.
All right. I'm pulling it up now. 60. It's an auction. You're the second person called me about that house.
Oh, okay. It's an auction house.
Uh-huh. Yep. So that's the price it starts at, but they have bids and then they have upset bids. So it's you gotta buy that with cash. You can't be financed. And it's let me see, 712 years. Been on for 8 days. I'm pretty sure it's probably gotten the bidding has started. So once the bidding starts, you have to offer 5% over the latest bid in order for them to accept your bid. They have 10 days. Yeah, and they have 10 days. Let's say you get in there and you offer them, that 70,000, right? So then the next person has to go 5% over your bid, and they have 10 days to do so. And if they do, you have 10 days to go over there. So it's called upset bids, right? So you have 25 days to you have 25 days to upset the current bid.
Okay, I see. Sure. So that's the price that it starts at. Yeah, I was saying you're not gonna find a house for that low now.
No, absolutely not. And I'm looking at the house. The house is probably gonna sell for about between 150 and 200,000.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, that's what it's worth. I don't know if anybody's gonna bid that high because you are purchasing with cash. Man, you could get lucky though and put an offer in and nobody even try to match you. You know what I'm saying? Nobody try to upset bid. It's highly unlikely, but it's possible. Anything is possible, man. So, it doesn't cost you anything to shoot your shot. You feel what I'm saying? Like all they can do is outbid you. But I can find out the platform you got to go bid on online, and I'm gonna send it over to you. And if you want to bid, just keep in mind you got to have access to your cash because if you win, they want the money. You got like a certain amount of days to get the money to them.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, you want the information?
Yeah, of course. That'll help me. The information will.
All right, I'll send it over to you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, you too.
What's you had another question?
I was gonna say, God, I forgot. Is this a good number to text on or?
No, this is not my number. I'm gonna send you my number.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, all right, thank you. Man. All right, all right, all right, and I'm back. All right, where was I at? I was talking about the thief. So now after all of these these questions and me thinking about the situation, I'm thinking like, okay, well, somebody hit and I asked the boy, why, where were the books? Where did you have the books? Because I don't know where they were stashed. He said he had them stashed in his photo album, right? And I said, well, did they take anything else out your locker? He said, no, they just took the books. How did they know the books were in your photo album? Did you tell anybody you stashed your books in your photo album? He's like, nah, ain't nobody know. I said, well, when did you put them in there? Like, he said, when we was locked in for count. All right. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that whoever took the books knew where the books were at because they only took books from your locker, right? So this is me processing information. They didn't hit Six's locker. They hit your locker and your Sully's locker, right? The only people who could possibly know where those books are at are your two Sullys. Only one of your two Sullys got his locker hit. Your homeboy. And your homeboy didn't have anything. So his locker got hit for nothing. Nigga broke. You know what I'm saying? So I figured out right then his Sully hit him. You know what I'm saying? Like his Sully did it, right? I'm like, okay, this nigga Sully did that. His Sully knew where the books was at. His dumb ass only took the books. And he made it look like he got robbed too. So it will throw him off, make him think like, oh man, somebody got us. Nah, I got you. So I'm not stupid. And while I'm talking to him, his celly had went outside on the rail in front of the door and was smoking a cigarette, right? So this nigga keeps smoking because he's nervous. I'm figuring this out. This dumbass Detroit nigga don't realize this, right? So I go outside and I lean on the rail beside dude. I look at him. He look at me. I see his hand shaking. I said, nigga, you stole them books. Knocked his ass out right there. I caught him, right? And when I caught him, he fell back against the door. And he hit the door that was open. And these metal doors, that metal door, boom, hit the jump and made a real loud sound in the unit. So everybody in the unit watching. And I just grab him. And I catch him a couple times, right? But I don't want to make no noise. The CO in the office. So I grabbed the nigga and I'm pulling him into his cell, right? And he fighting me off. Now, mind you, I don't have a knife. If I had a knife, it was over with. I would have probably ran my time up. I would have killed him, right? So I'm pulling him in his cell, and his celly come out, eyes big, like, man, what's up? I said, man, your celly stole your books, you dumbass nigga. And I'm pulling this jump, and I'm trying to get him in the cell so I can punish him, right? But he fighting. He won't go, you know what I'm saying? He won't go in the cell. So they call y'all recall, right? Right then they call y'all recall. So everybody coming off the yard, and I let the nigga go, right? Because people come in and the CO got to come out of his office to go unlock the door. So when the CO come out of his office to come unlock the door, he look around, he look up, everybody on the top tier, because people watching, right? And it's quiet in there. So you can tell when something happening, and the CO could tell. So he walking to the door, but he looking around, right? He go unlock the door, and then he just start walking around the tier, right? Because he knows something up. So he trying to walk around and see what's up. So I go over my cell and shit, and I tell my celly, I had a good celly. My celly was from DC. At this time, I'm in another cell, right? And I got another celly, right? I can't remember my celly name, but he was Muslim, right? And he worked in the kitchen. And he would always make cakes and all this other stuff, bringing me some celly. I got it. You know, he come in with bags full of stuff he made in there. He was a baker or whatever, right? Kamal. My celly name was Kamal, yo. Good dude, man. About my age, man. Light-skinned dude. So I said, man, listen, man, I had to just punish this nigga, yo. He's like, where? Who? Where he at? I'm like, yo. I said, man, I'm good. I punished him, right? So, no, it wasn't y'all recall. It was a 10-minute move. That's what it was. So during the 10-minute move, this boy, him and his celly shot out the unit, right? So I'm like, oh, this nigga gonna go try to get a knife, right? So I already know Six ain't giving me his knife. He wouldn't give me the knife. And I'm like, all right, I know what I'm gonna do. I go on my cell, and at the time we had these toilet brushes or plungers. We had plungers. We had plungers in case your in case y'all don't know, our toilet is in our cell, right? So we shitting in the place where we sleep at. So you got a plunger in there in case your joint gets stopped up. All the rooms got a plunger. So I go in there and I'm trying to figure out, do I want to get a lock and a sock to get ready? Because I know he's gonna come back with a knife, right? But nah, I see my plunger, right? And the plunger is on a wood stick, a plunger, the regular plunger with the wood stick. And on the end of the wood stick, it's a hole through the wood stick, right? And it had like a little leather thing that you could hang the plunger up on something or whatever. So what I did is I broke that out. I took that out, right? That little string or whatever was through there. I put a shoestring through there. I like twice, put a lock on the end of the shoestring, right? And secured it real good so that the stick, you got the stick, and then I got the string with the lock hanging on the other end. I basically made a nunchuck in that bitch. I'm like, okay, in case he get a knife, he can't get to me. You know what I'm saying? But I got the reach because the weapon I made was official, right? So I'm ready. I'm waiting on him to come back in the unit, right? So dude come back in there after the unit. And after he came, he came back in after the count, pardon me. When he came back in, him and his celly, they looking scared, right? So I know he ain't getting no knife. So they called lockdown at that time. That was a lockdown. So that was a yard recall because they locked down after he came back in. So he had shot out during the recall to try to get a knife real quick, but I guess he didn't get one. Came back. So now when they going back in their cell, I know he ain't get a knife. I got my weapon. I'm cool. But I'm telling them, I'm like, yeah, after count, you guys see me again. You know what I'm saying? I said, matter of fact, you guys see me too, you bitch ass nigga. And I tell her Sally. So now I want to see both of them at the count. I don't line it up. You know what I'm saying? And I promise you, these dudes my same size. The one I beat up, he was a little slimmer, but he my air like he was God body. And I hated to put hands on him, but he wasn't moving like it. You know what I'm saying? So, I got to see y'all again. So after when they lock us down for count, they go in the cell, with six. And I'm in my cell with my celly Kamal, and we ready to come out at the count and handle that business, right? And these two niggas checked in doing count, man. They went up top. Like when they counting, they knock on the glass and say, man, we gotta go up to the hole because they was scared. You feel what I'm saying? Like I'm by myself, yo. I promise you, I ain't had no homies in that unit. Bird, I had Steve in there, and of course, he ready to go. But I'm like, nah, I got this. You know what I'm saying? But these dudes check in. They check in, and that's a coward move. Cowards check into the hole when they're afraid to confront an issue or face an issue. And these dudes checked in, man. And I was mad. I'm like, look at these bitch ass niggas checking in. I'm on the door. I'm like, you bitch ass nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was mad. You know what I'm saying? I was mad because I don't get out of character like that. Like I said, I had one fight in 17 years, and they kind of forced me. You don't accuse a person of stealing, right? You can fuck my face up for good. You're not gonna mess my name up in this institution, and then circle back. Let me tell you what happened after they checked in. Mind you, during this time, all of the Virginia guys had got, that's why I want no Virginia dudes. They opened Petersburg, FCI Petersburg. And during that time, all the dudes from Virginia and a lot of dudes from DC, a lot of dudes from Maryland, they all put in for transfers to this new institution. New institution brings new opportunities, right? And although Petersburg is further from DC and Baltimore, it's still in Virginia. And it's still close enough for their family to come to, and it's a new yard. So people want to go to new yards, right? I didn't go because I had gotten a shot and I wasn't able to go. But that's why I want that the Virginia guys wasn't in there. That's why I didn't have a lot of homies. During that time, a lot of Ohio guys, Detroit, Midwest guys came on the yard, right? And I had a good rapport with these dudes, like, because there wasn't a lot of Virginia dudes there at this time, but they had a lot of respect for me. I was still doing my thing, poker, and I was a mover and shaker. I was always on something. I was always doing something. But the Detroit dude, the shot caller, they called him Slim. Slim asked me to come out to the yard, so I came out there because I fuck with Slim, and he's an older cat, right? And he not Slim. He was chubby. I don't know why they called him Slim, but maybe it used to be Slim. But he called me out there. He was like, man, what happened with you and my little homie, right? And I told him everything, right? He's like, yeah, well, man, the little motherfucker came out trying to get a knife. You know what I'm saying? I said, yeah, I knew he was gonna try to get a knife. He said, man, you know I wasn't gonna give him a knife when he told me what it was for. Nigga, I fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, they really fucked with me. The Detroit cats, they really like. I don't know how I was so tight with the Detroit dudes. I had a Detroit dude I worked with on the yard, and I was really cool with I like their aura. You know what I'm saying? Like we kind of like I like that the way they carry themselves was a little different. We weren't used to Midwest dudes. Like the Ohio and Detroit, like I had never encountered these dudes on the street. So this was my first time encountering them, but they refused to get a man a knife, you know, on the strength of they knew me, they knew my character. So I was able to clean that up. And yeah, the Detroit and Ohio and all that, when they brought them in, they brought a different element to the yard. Cumberland changed after that, right? And you know, there was an influx of homosexuality that came on the yard, a bunch of punks. And my next story, I'm gonna tell y'all about a punk, man, legendary, man. And I was gonna do that on this one, right? But this punk and all the punkettes, all the other punks, right? They changed the culture at Cumberland, man. It became yeah, it was a freaky yard. Let's say that, man. So I talked y'all about that on my next episode of Fed Time Stories, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Peace.